Quick flashbacks. American colonists were throwing a tantrum over the unfairness of England's governing and wrote a document called the Declaration of Independence, throwing shade at things that England didn't have, like natural rights, consent of the governed, and limited government. Before this, a philosopher guy named John Locke wrote this thing called the Second Treaty of Civil Government, which talked about private property and how the government shouldn't invade it. And the colonists were just like, hey, that sounds good, so they used it a lot in their document. The Declaration of Independence also had to do with things like natural rights, consent of the governed, and limited government. So once the colonists are free, they were like, maybe we should have democracy to show our anti-monarchism. So they wrote articles like the Confederation, but it was kind of really bad. Basically, the only thing the national government did was the Northwest Ordinance, which provided a method for admitting new states to the new Union from the territory and listed a Bill of Rights guaranteed in the territory. But then there was this thing now we call Shays' Rebellion, which demonstrated how terrible the articles were. So the farmers rioted and burned stuff, but the government could not do anything under the AOC. So yeah, it sucked. So a bunch of old dudes gathered in a Philly cheesecake with the intention of editing and revising articles. But really, it was so bad that they gave up, and some were like, hey, maybe we should write a whole new document. So they got together and wrote this document, which is now known as the Constitution. It took 10 months for the first 9 states to approve the Constitution. The first state to ratify was Delaware on December 7th, 1787 by an anonymous vote 30-0. A whole bunch of butthurt states were upset about how they were being represented in the legislative branch, so they came up with a whole new bunch of plans. The New Jersey plan gave everyone the same representation. The Virginia plan gave everyone representation proportional to population. Connecticut Compromise was a combination of both. So in general, the Constitution Convention attempted to solve 3 main issues: equality of the states, Number 2, slavery. The solution was they had 3/5 compromise. Some more important guys wrote some documents or article things called the Federalist Papers. Creative, right? The Federalist Papers talked about why the Constitution was great and basically advertised for the Constitution ratification. The ones that taught in AP NSL, and thus the only important ones, were the Federalist Paper number 10 and 51. '51 had to do with checks and balances.